Okay, welcome to How to Create Good Holiday Cards. I'm Stephanie Marone with Scarlett. Look how she's dressed up, Rob. What do you think?
Nice outfit.
It's cute. Come on. It's cute. All right, I probably should put her down. And I've got a special guest today. Rob, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. I'm Rob Cates. I'm a video producer that works with lawyers and law firms.
Awesome. All right. I just released my dog from that torturous Santa outfit. Rob, I love that you dressed up Kermit in the background. I'm obsessed.
Kermit, green and red for the holidays. He brings his own green.
I love it. It's amazing. All right, so we're going to talk about holiday card best practices today. And I can't believe it. There are, tomorrow, I guess, or the day after tomorrow. Tomorrow is October 1st. Can you believe it? It's kind of crazy, right?
It is crazy. They closed my pool yesterday. I'm very sad.
That's a bummer. Well, if you haven't started thinking about your holiday card yet, you really need to, and it's not too late, but it is already October. Like, I already have 2 of my holiday card concepts approved by law firms, and we're starting the process, and I'll explain what they are, and Rob will get your opinion on some of them. But it's time, because there's also the list management. I mean, you've got to make sure your list is up to date. You've got the right people on the list. And so I'm hoping Chris will join us, Chris Fritsch, who's supposed to be another guest of ours today, to talk about list management and data cleanup and all that stuff, because you can create the best holiday card in the entire world, Rob, but if nobody gets it, then like, what's the point, right?
Got to get it out there to the right people.
Yeah, I mean, another thing is, Rob, so many people have left their jobs over the past year. And I'm not sure like where people are, So it's really difficult to figure out even like, where these folks have landed and, make sure your lists are updated. Chris is saying she's having trouble getting in, and I'm not sure why. So I'm not sure that we can. Oh, it looks like she's here. All right. It looks like Chris is here. So I'm going to add Chris to the stream.
Hey there. Technology's great when it works. I had to reboot my computer. It's one of those.
Yeah. That sort of happens. And it looks like I might have cut our heads off now, Rob.
Turn off the overlay.
Okay. I'm going to turn off the overlay. Guys, this is should I just like hide it? There we go.
There you go.
This is really, it's a real high tech over here at the Marone, at the headquarters of Stephanie Marone Consulting.
I'm so used to being on the back end of these things, running everything. So
well, the best part
nice is not to have to.
The best part is that we have Rob, like, who can like kind of coach me through. When we do legal marketing coffee talk, I'm just a guest usually, or like a speaker. So I don't have to worry about the technology. It's a big deal, guys, that I actually like figured this out. Rob, are you proud of me? I mean,
I am not only very proud of you, but glad I don't have to worry about it for once.
Oh, that's great. He did coach me through though. So
well, Chris, there is nobody who knows video better than Rob Cates. You are the best.
That is true.
Chris. Coming from you, that means a lot.
So we're live, Chris. Do you want to tell? It looks like we're getting comments too. So people are here. Oh, this is great. Okay. So Rich Bracken says he loves your hat, Rob.
Thanks, Rich.
Did everybody miss my dog dressed up in a Santa outfit? Chris, you missed that. I let Scarlett go, but I put her in a Santa outfit.
Aww.
But
so Chris, tell everybody who you are. We
still have Kermit here in his Santa outfit. So.
Yeah. Hi, Lewis. How are you? Oh, hey, Leslie. How's it going? This is being recorded, Nicole, so I love it. Oh, a lot of comments about your hat, Rob. We're getting
$9.99 Amazon.com.
Look at that. There are only 90 days until Christmas, and it's less than that for Hanukkah, and your card should actually go out the first week of December. But let's talk about a few things related to that. But Chris, before we get started, why don't you tell everybody who you are and
Sure.
what you do?
Yeah, I'm Chris Fritch. I am the president and founder of Clients First Consulting. And I am probably going to sneeze. Phew, goodness.
You.
And I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, where it's pollen season right now. And I had my window open earlier.
I got a text from Chris saying she didn't feel so great. So we appreciate you being here. In New York, the weather is absolutely perfect. Rob, I'm sure it's perfect where you are, but
A
it
little
is
overcast. We're expecting rain for the weekend.
yeah, I know. I'm thinking of everybody in Florida right now, and I'm hoping
Yeah.
everyone out there who's watching and everyone who is has offices there, family, loved ones, thinking of everybody with that. So I know it's just really, really tough. So I did want to point out that although I'm not wearing a holiday shirt, I am dressed as a president today because I am a gift to you and Rob.
Wow.
Right?
Just please stay wrapped.
Okay.
Wow. Wow.
So you guys, let's get into the topic. So holiday cards. I'm working on 2 right now. I just got my 2 concepts approved. Now, if you don't have your concepts approved yet, that's okay, but you do need to think about it. And I want to talk about the concepts and the best ways to make sure your card is seen by people, what to do with the card after, because by the way, that card should be on your website and social media. A lot of people don't think about repurposing their card and making sure it's visible. And then Chris, the most important thing we were talking about before you joined is delivery and like making sure the right people get the card, because you can create the best darn card in the entire universe, but if nobody is actually getting it, well, what's the point, right? So I want to talk about that. So let's discuss. So let's start, Rob, with you. What are you seeing with regard to some trends this year? What are you working on? I know you're a video expert, but do you think video has to be in all of the cards? Like what are your thoughts in general about holiday cards this year? It's like the first year, guys, in a long time that like things feel a little bit back to normal. So like we can get back to like the greetings of yesteryear without using a snowflake, a tree with 4 seasons, or happy holidays in different languages, or the cities in which you have offices dressed up for the holidays.
Stephanie,
Like,
what does
It's a
that
little
leave
hard
us
to get
with?
away from those things.
Yeah,
That's
what is
pretty much
left?
What's left? Exactly.
guys, there's a lot of things, and I'm going to go through some ideas with you, and I think Rob will have some ideas, but I have ideas, and it involves audience participation. It involves people being there. And guys, put in the comments. I'm so glad so many people have joined us today. If you have ideas for holiday cards, or you've done a really awesome holiday card, I'd love to know. And the worst holiday card that you've ever seen, please put in the chat. I'd love to get some ideas, because I definitely have seen some really bad ones that have fallen
Stephanie,
flat.
I don't know who I should know who does this, but I don't remember. But a few years back, someone did a ranking of the best and worst law firm holiday cards, and you can go through that and watch it.
Yeah.
And some of them were amazing.
Yeah,
I was like, okay,
I
these
remember
are
that
really good
too.
cards.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're still doing it annually, but it was above the law, and they were doing them, and it was it was in the legal space, particularly obviously, and like they gave rankings. You could actually submit your card for that, which was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're going to take the time to do this, why not submit it and get an award?
Sure. No,
Why not? Right.
And I thoroughly enjoyed going through and watching the best cards. There were some great ones.
Do you remember any of them, Chris?
It's been a few years. I don't.
Yeah, that came out 4 or 5 years ago at least.
Yeah.
But I do remember. I don't remember any of them off the top of my head either, which probably says something about the cards, because if they were that good, we'd remember them.
I do remember. One of them was terrific. They were handing cards to each other through the screen. And so like if you're in video, somebody's arm would come across and pass it, and they'd pass it to somebody in another screen, and they were all at home.
So that was, I think, Kristen Brophy.
It was
who
Kristen
did
Brody
it,
at her firm. They did
and
that
she
2
did
years
it
ago, I think.
herself.
It
And
was great. It was really a great.
from a Boston-based firm called Concavanaugh, and she said she did it with Zoom mostly, and then she figured out, how to use Adobe Premiere, I think, and a bunch of other tools. It was pretty darn cool. So Google Above the Law holiday cards, Concavanaugh, and you should be able to find it. So Kristen,
and a lot of firms might feel like they can't do that themselves or not going to do their own editing. Call Rob Cates because he is brilliant at that.
Yeah,
I'm going to be a commercial for you today, Rob, because you are awesome.
Chris,
Rob,
the check is in the mail.
What are you seeing by way of trends this year? Like, what are people like into videos? Like, what are you what are your thoughts?
We're really just starting to work with our clients and starting to hash out topics and budgets and all that stuff. So I'm finding clients are just getting started, but so I'm not seeing any specific
Kristen Brophy is actually watching. Kristen, hey. Kristen,
shout out.
Not feeling well, but Kristen, I bet you didn't know you were getting a shout out today. So that's awesome. It is, as she said, it's the holiday card that keeps giving. Kristen, if you want to put anything in the chat about how that idea came to be, we'll let everybody know. But I'm actually so glad you're here, and I'm glad we said.
And put a link to the card. Everybody gets a lot of traffic.
Yeah, if you have it, Rob. In terms of length of a card, if you're using animation and video, how long should a card be without people being like, "Oh, geez, this is really long"?
I like to stay at about a minute. I think much longer than that, unless you've got a compelling story to tell. I mean, I've seen some cards that have been able to tell a longer story that will last a little longer, but I certainly wouldn't go over a minute and a half, and a minute is kind of that sweet spot.
Okay. Rob, in terms of music for holiday cards, are you a fan? And if you are a fan, what kind of music?
It's like my worst nightmare is just trying to find non-denominational holiday sounding music.
And you can't use any jingling bells in
jingling bells, nothing that even remotely sounds of Christmas. A couple of years ago, we got lucky. We found something that sounded very similar to the Charlie Brown Christmas music.
Oh, that's cute.
It kind of gave that Christmas feel, but wasn't hitting any denominations. But I can't keep using that over and over again. So it's always big part of our year is just trying to find that perfect music that won't hit.
It's the hardest part. And this is the reason, guys, why you need to use a professional, because you can't just pull music off of the interwebs and use it. Like, there's licensing rules and all of the things.
You want to make sure that it's royalty free or licensed music. And we've gone both directions. We use royalty free a lot from various libraries that we subscribe to just because of budgets, but we've also had situations where we've had music licensed directly from the artists that we've been able to tailor a little bit closer to the tune of the card.
And this is why, like, again, you need a professional to help you tie it together. You can have the idea, but having somebody to help you make it happen is really important. So Robin, Chris, and then our amazing audience today, I would love to know, and by the way, if you're not connected to Rob and Chris and I on LinkedIn, please make sure that you connect with us. Rob and Chris, I want to give you guys like 3 ideas that I've been working on, and you tell me what you think. Okay. So one of them is to get people's kids involved. So the idea is we asked the employees, and by the way, do not limit this to just attorneys, please. Like, your staff actually matters and we care. And as someone who's a law firm staff person, like, just making it the attorneys is just not, I think, great. So the idea is that we asked our people to ask their children or a family member who was a kid to draw what the holiday means to them. And then, so hopefully it's not like Satan or anything, but it was like what the holidays mean to them. They drew them, and then we would put like, Anna, age 7. And then the idea would be like to have that animated, and then for all of those to be, showing in some sort of video animation. So that was one idea. The other idea is one that I love, and you can do so many variations on this. It's the holiday card recipe idea. So
I like that.
I've done this in a lot of different ways, and I've done this for big and small firms. So you essentially ask your people to give a recipe, their favorite holiday recipe, or you do a theme. Like, so with one firm, we're working on holiday cocktails. So it could be alcoholic or not, but we've got,
have some mocktails.
Yeah, we've got the managing partners eggnog martini. We've got hot chocolate that has peppermint in it, and then it's more personal. The other thing with the recipes is that it doesn't have to be a recipe from your family. The recipe could be from a famous chef. You just have to do attribution, and I've checked this with IP lawyers. So you can use an Ina Garten recipe, which, by the way, Ina Garten is the best in the entire world. I love that. And then the idea goes one step further. So we do recipe cards that are downloadable, but
great.
Also we do a charity component. So it's like from our table to yours, eat, drink, be merry. But the idea is also, we know a lot of people around the world are not able to enjoy in the feasts of the holidays. So we give to a charity that supports hunger, like
a food bank of some sort, or that's great.
Yeah. So that was one idea. And then another one I've been working on is, which I also think is fun, is like your favorite holiday memory. And we asked the people at the firm to send us pictures of themselves when they were kids and what that memory was. And so maybe it was getting your first Cabbage Patch Kid doll, guys. My grandma got stampeded at a store trying to get me a Cabbage Patch Kid. If anyone remembers the Cabbage Patch Kid crisis, where they were like the hottest gift and everyone was trying to get them. My Cabbage Patch Kid, her name I still remember, Dulcie Lara, we fought to get it, and my grandma almost died, but I got my Cabbage Patch Kid. So there's a picture of me with that. So I like,
if you remember the Cabbage Patch Kids, you're old like us.
Yeah, if you remember the Cabbage Patch Kid, you're over 40.
Right.
So there's that. And then also I did something with magnetic poetry. So like you could have a bunch of words and then it would be scenarios like, on this holiday, we wish you a merry litigation and hope your deposition goes well with eggnog. Like you could kind of move around the words. So that was another thing.
So you could do that one electronically, or you could physically have that created in Magnus and send that, which might even be better.
Yeah, that would be fun to send.
Yeah, which would be cool. And yeah, Christine, I saw your comment. I can show you some examples of these. I've done the holiday card book a lot for a while. Another thing we did was ask people their favorite holiday movie and their favorite favorite holiday song, and then do a compilation of those favorite holiday book. I just, guys, love audience participation, the people. And I think regardless if you're a big firm or a small firm, listen, you don't want to have 80 people in the card. You have to limit it. But I think it really has a close connection with people. And I think it really helps people get to know your organization in a way that's more personal. So
yeah, it helps to humanize the lawyers and make them more approachable and be perceived as real people, which clients have consistently said they love.
I know.
We did several cards during the pandemic where we had people from the firm would record short messages, and then we would edit them down so that it was a minute and a half card.
Yeah.
And I thought those were nice because it gave a chance to really personalize the card, and they did everything, lawyers and professional staff included in those.
I love those ideas. I've also seen ones so I had this kind of crazy idea. It's not in our industry, but I saw it in the tech industry. But there were some lawyers dressed up as elves, and they were going office to office with their interoffice envelope, and it was a mad dash to get their their holiday wish to Santa or whatever it was, but they were elves, and they're actually non-denominational elves as well. But I know it could seem a little Christmassy, but I thought that was fun. It was a vignette of showing people in costumes. And so
speaking of which, you could also do people with their pets in costumes or bad holiday sweaters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, ugly holiday
reindeer ears, or
I think anything you can do that's funny, I think people will watch. But it's hard. Bad funny is never good.
Funny is good, and funny people will pass around and share, which gets you sort of some extra traction.
The ugly holiday sweater is a great idea. The pets, I would love actually if people like showed like their decorations around their house, like, you know, maybe it's like the outside of your house or what the inside looks like, you know, again, that could get a little Christmassy. We want to make sure we're mindful of
it also, what about people who don't decorate or don't want to decorate? You're starting to not be inclusive. You're going to start to leave people out. I think that one would be challenging, and especially for law firms. So.
Could we agree that pets in ugly sweaters would be like the best card ever?
Everybody loves pets. You cannot go wrong showing people's pets.
I know. Speaking of which, I'm going to pull my pets out again to while I ask Chris about, okay, so Chris, we have this great concept. We've contacted Rob to make sure that the music works and that it's animated.
And it's legal.
And it's legal. And by the way, don't forget that like, even if you have a video, you have to create a nice looking like filler image for the actual card that you're sending. So like that email that goes to people, the video, yeah, you have to click on it, but you also have to make it look attractive. You need actually also a nice subject line. Happy holidays from the Cates Law Firm.
What we see frequently, and it just makes me cringe, is we'll work very hard for a client and they'll spend a lot of money on a holiday card and then they just stick it on YouTube. They don't take the time to create a good thumbnail and then they just send out the YouTube link. And you really have to create an email or a web page, or, you know, take advantage of the opportunity to add some additional messaging just beyond whatever your card is.
And if you put it on your website, does that drive SEO and additional traffic to the website?
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. As does YouTube. I mean, there's nothing wrong with putting it on YouTube, but do that later. Make that your secondary.
I would put it on your website. And Rob, I guess technical question. If it's a video card and it needs to go on YouTube, but to watch it, but you want to house it on your website, you just embed it on your website.
You can just use embed code and put it from YouTube, so they'll watch it on your website, but the views end up counting on YouTube and help with that algorithm.
Because it's a good point that Chris brings up. We always want to drive traffic to our website because we're marketers, right? And so we want to get people to go to our site. And so it really does need to live on your site. One other thing I wanted to bring up before I ask Chris about distribution is the importance of also using that card on social. So that card needs a thumbnail and it needs the short video link that you can then post on social. Don't miss that step. You guys knew I was going to talk about social, right? But it's a missed opportunity because let's say you send the card to 3,000 people. Of that 3,000 people, Chris, the data has degraded for a lot of them and they might have not even opened it, or who knows, but if you put it on social, you also get more people. Chris, talk to us about what people should be doing now to get their lists in good shape.
Yeah, this is it's the most wonderful time of the year, isn't it? The holiday card, we all love it. But if you're going to spend all this time on it, you need to at least make sure that it gets to the desired audiences. And so, you know, a lot of times you have the issue too that you want to circulate the list to the attorneys, and then you don't want to struggle with the fact that they're all going to be knowing the same people. And so you don't want the exact same card happens every year. Client gets the same card from 10 lawyers and it's exactly the same. So you want to be able to use your CRM system to send one card and have it look like they've all sort of signed it or virtually signed it. So it comes from everybody. And CRMs can really help you do that. You also do, you were talking about YouTube. If anybody on the that's watching this is sort of new to the whole YouTube thing, you want to get your branded YouTube channel. And I think you need 100 subscribers, right, to do that?
100 subscribers, and then you can add a custom URL. But in the meantime, you can get your artwork up and stake your claim to a YouTube channel, which is really important.
Exactly.
And make sure that if you are setting up a new YouTube channel, to set it up as a brand channel. Sometimes people will set it up on their own Gmail email, which is required because YouTube is part of Google. And then that person leaves the firm and suddenly nobody can get access to the YouTube.
I've been there. So that's the worst.
Yeah. But you do want to make sure that, once you've got your list together, you want to deduplicate them, obviously, to make sure that, everybody you send one card from everybody. But also you want to test your list. So if anybody needs help with that, feel free to reach out. We can run the list for just very, very small amount of money, run it through and make sure that all your emails are good. We can help you if you don't want to take the time to deduplicate 100 or more lists from 100 or more attorneys. We can do that very cost effectively so that you can focus more time on, doing your day job and getting great ideas and getting your card together.
Yeah, it's the most important part is making sure people get it. Chris, also email marketing is a huge part of this because you can't just, have a card, contact Rob, get that card, and then you need a vehicle to send it out, and one that actually is a good one that won't get caught in spam. Like you can't send an email card via the marketing email address. It'll get caught by spam and it won't look formatted. So you need an email marketing platform. So any words of advice to firms out there on best practices?
You know who really is good at this is CL Nathanson at GCC Portfolio. This is like all they do. We ought to do another one of these and invite her on. But they have a platform. So there's a lot of different companies that do platforms like this that will send your card. They'll help you put the entire thing together. They'll help you come up with ideas, but they're really good at making sure you don't get caught in spam filters, because you don't want to have this sent out through your normal e-marketing tool for the most part. Most firms don't want to do it that way.
Yeah.
You want a professional that can, that's an expert that can help you. And Rob, do you help firms as well with this, getting the cards all put together and out the door, or just building them?
We primarily just build them, and then most of our clients are distributing either with YouTube or Vimeo embedded in their website, some sort of email marketing platform that they're currently using. But
do you have a
that way they're not having to spend the extra money to go to use an outside resource for something they're already paying for.
Do you have a preference like Vimeo versus YouTube? Is there one better than the other?
Yeah, I think it depends on where you're putting it. If you do want to embed it in your website, the nice thing about Vimeo is it gives you a little more control over what the player looks like. And it also doesn't YouTube, because that's YouTube's job. It pushes you to other things. So when the video's done playing, they're going to put suggested other videos for people to click on, and Vimeo doesn't do that. So you've got a little more control with video. What you lose is that sort of little SEO bump. So what I typically recommend is, if people are set up to do it, use Vimeo to embed in your website and then add the card to your YouTube channel for, additional longer term views.
Those are great best practices. You guys, I have a couple other ideas I want to run by you. So what do you guys think about the idea of showcasing all the community service and the charitable things you did in other pictures from the firm throughout the year? I've seen people do those cards.
Yeah, we've done a few of those for clients.
Okay. My only caveat with that is that it's very firm centric and it's not about the client. Like, it's not putting the client, it's showcasing all the great things you've done without taking into consideration the client. So I think there has to be a little bit more to it about, just showcasing the client and what it means. And like your responsibility to the community at large is great. Your clients really care about that, but just make sure that it's not overly promotional in terms of like, look at us, we're so awesome, we're such a good citizen. It needs to also have a tie-in to your clients and why you do these things. So I think
those, and that goes along with and fits well with also firms who make some sort of donation, which is oftentimes we'll see cards go out with. And this year for the holidays, we are making a donation to some charity that they include as part of
I've seen so I saw like on the bad holiday card side, I saw a firm try to do like something along the 12 days of the holiday. That does feel Christmassy, but they did it in a clever way. But it was like the 12 days of the firm. And so it was like 12 highlights from the year, or they were showcasing like something from January, February, March, all the months. But it was like, in January, we closed the $70 million mezzanine loan and blah, blah, blah. And it's not holiday. Like, it's all about you. It's an annual review.
Holiday cards should not be promotional. It is not a good time to promote yourself.
So I have another idea I want to run by you guys. What about a Thanksgiving card so that you are first to market, you beat everybody else, and everyone celebrates Thanksgiving. So there's no denominational issues with, for the most part, I think most Americans celebrate Thanksgiving. If you're a global firm and you're reaching other people, like there's other considerations, and I want to talk about that because you need to have like it, you know, you may want to send your card in other languages as well. But let's just talk about the idea of Thanksgiving. I mean, the whole idea.
We do a lot of Thanksgiving cards for clients. I would say
that was always
30% or more of the holiday cards we send out are targeted at Thanksgiving for all the reasons you just mentioned.
Yeah. Can you tell us like some of those concepts? Like, is it like any of the, do you remember like what they were based on? Was it about giving back? Because you can do the charitable stuff for that.
It's sometimes about giving back. We did a regular series for a client that was exactly what you mentioned earlier, where they had children of the lawyers submit drawings every year, and we would then take those drawings and incorporate them into an animation to show the drawings.
Yeah, I love that idea. You could also do it with like the, you know, like you could have everyone like, you know, do the hand print and make a turkey.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
That would be fun. And then it's like hands, you know. Oh, somebody said they've been doing a Thanksgiving card for the last 3 years and it's been very well received.
Hey, Stephanie, what about a New Year's card? I used to like to do those too.
We do a lot of New Year's.
At this time of the year, you know, we just want to take stock and say that we're thankful for, you know.
And by the way, just because you do one of these doesn't mean you can't do all of them. Like, I think they're all nice touch points. I don't know that I would do a holiday card and a New Year's card, but I might do a Thanksgiving card and a New Year's card. Or in the holiday card, you could certainly, you know, this time of year is a time to give thanks and celebrate, you know, blah, blah, blah. We look ahead to the new year and we wish you the best. The greeting that you come up with in that card should be unique, should be interesting, and should be tailored for your client. So make sure it's not just some boring, generic, happy holidays from the Cates Law Firm. We just started a new law firm, Rob. To us, like you have a real opportunity.
My dad was a lawyer and my grandfather, so there actually were Cates Law Firm.
Oh, well, there you go. So guys, another question for you. What are your thoughts on hard copy cards? And are you a fan? Are you not? I thought they were like, you know, I hear like two factions. One, I hear certain individual lawyers still like to send them because they say the lawyer, like their clients will actually get them and they feel like it's a personal touch if they sign them. I've also heard people say, well, you don't even know how you're reaching those people today because they may not be in the office. You may not have their right address. And then they may just like throw it out. It may never get to the intended recipient because there's a gateway of like the client, you know, the secretary or whatever it is.
Plus these days, people aren't in the office anymore.
Everybody's at home at least a few days a week.
It's going to get lost. It's going to get lost in the mailroom or in a pile of mail that they may just not get around.
Guys, I don't disagree, but one of my clients said nobody wants an electronic card. They just hit delete. I don't agree. I think it depends.
I don't think you can generalize. If it's a really good electronic card and it makes people smile, I think everybody wants to smile.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. But, you know, it goes back to that subject line. Happy holidays from the Cates Law Firm may not do it. I mean, I know it's hard to come up with creative, you know, subject lines and you want them to be short and succinct. But even with regular email and client alerts, you know, I see really bad headlines constantly. And so you may want to think outside the box. I don't have the answer off the top of my head as to what that subject line should be, but I think you could make a real difference there.
And Stephanie, now you are going to be very unpopular with all the legal marketers because now you're telling them they have to do 2 or 3 cards instead of just one.
No, I'm saying that it's optional. You could do like spend your money and do a big card for the holidays and then maybe do like an email campaign that's like, you know, something different. I just think these are very nice touch points that, you know, aren't like, oh, we want something from you or come to our event or look how great we are. Here's a press release on a lateral. They're just opportunities to stand out in a crowded market. I think also, guys, consider the international community and the stuff going on in the international world. Like I said, if you have clients, like a big faction of clients in China or Japan or France, you may want you're also the lawyers in those offices may want cards in those specific languages, even though, you know, obviously English is a universal language and you may be a US firm, but I do think it goes a long way to make sure that if your website is able to be viewed in other languages, you should have cards in that same language to make sure that you're really resonating and communicating with those folks. So, any other best practices? I wanted to get your sense of Chris, so many people have moved jobs over the last year.
Yeah.
I had a client say to me, "Oh, Steph, we're going to use the list that we used last year." And I said, no, like we need to update it. So
right.
What do you like? Do you think people should just, if I have 5,000 firm contacts?
No. So
use that
in any given year, and this is pre-pandemic, 30+% of your data degraded each year. People, change jobs, they get married, divorced, they move locations. And so your data goes bad if you don't constantly maintain it. Well, the holiday list, you do it once a year by definition. And now I would say probably data is changing at about 50% per year because of the pandemic, work from home, hybrid work, and all of the great resignation and people changing jobs. So you don't want to send to that list without first running it through the bounce process, and then research those bounces. If those were important people that you cared enough to send a card to, let's not just pull them off the list. Let's research them and find out where they are now and update their addresses. It's another touch point and reason to reach out. And then get back with your professionals and let them know that, because they often don't know. They'll give you names for a list and they have no idea that that person, has changed.
Yeah, I would also, guys, bring up the fact that like there may be factions of your audience that like you may have to use a different communication method. So I'll just bring this up. I work with a firm that has a trust and estates practice, and they're based in Florida, and their audience are folks over 75 or 70, and a lot of them, some of them are email savvy. I'm not doing a mass generalization, but they found that actual hard copy newsletters work better to reach those folks because they're not on their email as much and they actually prefer cards. So in that, so I would say you may want to consider like a hard copy card in that way. And just because you don't have their email addresses doesn't mean you should like rule those folks out. It means you may need to spend the time and effort, Chris, to find those people and get their home addresses or get their mailing addresses. If it's like a certain faction of your audience that will only look at a hard copy card, it may be worth doing that. So, Rob, in terms of, you said less than a minute or a minute. What if I am an international firm with 18 offices and it's really hard to keep my message down to 1 minute? And I agree with you. I get bored. I stop watching them. Like, what do you think firms should do? Oh, Rob, you're on mute.
I think the length should be what the length needs to be, but again, you want to keep people engaged, and the trend tends to be that people drop off pretty quickly.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. There's a few questions, so I thought we could take those, and I might plant some audience questions.
So real quick, just to interrupt, to go back to that topic, if you have been posting holiday cards in previous years and they're on YouTube, you can go to YouTube, to the YouTube Studio part of your YouTube channel, and see the statistics and actually get a graph that will show you where people are dropping off your holiday card every year. So it helps get you, and you can watch the video and it'll show the graph and exactly where in the video people are dropping. So
I love that idea.
You can use those statistics to figure out what's holding people's interest,
your analytics,
what's not.
I also want to mention, in terms of who gets your card, make sure your clients are actually getting your card. Like, so you may have new clients over the past year. You may have lawyers who are very, they're just not responsive with regard to updating their email lists and putting contacts in CRM. Work with finance then to make sure that like the top billing clients are actually getting your greeting. And I would go a step further. If you feel like a client's not going to open up a card from like the general firm email box, have the lawyers send them to those people so you can segment your lists. And I know I use Contact Ease a lot with some of my clients. Like, there's ways to segment the list so that then the card looks like it's coming from that lawyer or a group. You can change the send, the send line to anybody you want it to be. So it could be the chairman of the firm. Just make sure you don't put his email address in the return, or he's going to get a lot of email.
Yeah.
But I think it's a best practice to also think about that personal approach. I mean, it works better in terms of client alerts as well. You want to make sure somebody gets your card, just say, it's another reason to be, hey, Rob, just wishing you and your family a happy holiday. I don't know if you saw the card. It may have gotten caught in your spam filter. So,
and I know this is probably harder for bigger firms, and Chris, you might have some thoughts on this, but once you send out the initial card, if you do that sort of general firm blast, it might be worth going through and looking at your opens and seeing if important clients have not opened it, because maybe they didn't get it, maybe they didn't see it, maybe it's lost in spam, and maybe at that point you want the lawyer who works most closely with them, or maybe has worked on a recent matter, to maybe resend. It might be a good way to get it, send it again without necessarily having it a duplicate situation.
Yeah, I had another client where they actually did, in the process of dealing with getting a new CRM, they actually did an analysis of their top 250 clients and how many individuals were associated in the CRM with those companies and how many email addresses they had for them. It was astoundingly low. And so, you're going to spend all this time, money, and effort. You could use this as an impetus to get people to update the CRM, with key contacts, and show them, hey, you don't have enough people getting your card. This is a great time of the year to get the assistants engaged, to get the attorneys engaged, because they all want to get their card out and send the greeting. So, oh, how cute is that?
I would like to show everyone, Kristen Brophy, this is for you. Pets in cute. Oh, she's not happy with me. Look at this, guys.
Pets in cute outfits.
Is that ridiculous? This is Scarlett, everyone. Denise, yes, you can. This will be recorded, and you'll be able to watch it. It is recorded. You can watch it on YouTube. Look at this face.
And if one of you does the Pets in Ugly Sweaters card, please send me the link. I want to see it.
Yeah,
we all want it. That one we all want.
Different holidays that you can do that for. So, there's Hanukkah ugly sweaters, there's Kwanzaa ugly sweaters. So,
Stephanie, do you think
have ugly sweaters in general that we could use?
You could put all your professionals and staff in ugly sweaters.
Yeah. Stephanie, particularly with video cards, do you think firms should post them publicly on social media?
Absolutely.
And should they wait a while to do that, so it still seems like something special you're sending out to your clients?
So listen, I would think, Rob, if you send the card out on a Tuesday, by the way, don't send the card out on Monday. Don't send the card out on Friday. Aim for that first week of December, but also you may want to go to the second week. If everyone else's firm is sending out that card that first week of December, you may even want to go to a Saturday. I mean, it's tough. Like you don't want to be in direct competition, but here's what I would do. I would send you, somebody asked if law firms can borrow Scarlett. Yes, you can borrow her just for a small fee. So look how mad she looks. This is a great holiday card idea. So I would do the card. I would send out your card like on a Tuesday or Wednesday and then post it on social 2 days later. And I think you don't need a long shelf life. I might also pin the card to the top of your social for like the week of the holidays or whatever it is. And guys,
Stephanie, listen, could you A/B test a holiday card? Send half of them on.
Sure.
Well, actually, I'd do 3 different days. I'd do like a Tuesday, a Thursday, and then maybe experiment with a Saturday. Yeah, and next year you'll know, what's the right day.
I think it's a great idea. I think that no one will know, and also you've got a lot of contacts, so you might as well do that. I also would like to bring up something that if you have a large population of clients and employees who are they celebrate a certain holiday. So for example, I work with a firm that has a lot of Jewish clients. So we do a Hanukkah card specifically for them. There's no reason you can't do that if you segment your audience. Be specific. If you want them to know you care about certain holidays, you absolutely could do that. I know that Struck and Levon does a holiday card, but then they do individual social posts for Hanukkah, for Christmas, for Kwanzaa. So you can, do a main card, but then celebrate the actual holidays themselves as well, if you want to. So there's no there's no hard and fast rules. I think you just need to be cognizant of what makes sense for your firm and the culture and your people and the firm, your clients. So we had a question about if you wanted to do a card for the Ukraine. Well, okay, so this is interesting. So I don't know that I would say all the things in there I would recommend, but it could be a charitable card, knowing that that Ukraine is facing such challenges this year. We made a donation to, and then you could list out the organizations. And if your firm does pro bono work, you could do that as well. I mean, there's a lot of poignant things you could do for that. So somebody asked about, what ideas can you implement for your website for the holidays? So Allison, I think you could post the card on your homepage, Happy Holidays from the Cates Law Firm, and then have a link to it. I don't know if you guys have any other ideas. You could have a holiday greeting from your managing partner. Just make sure it's not all about your firm, that sort of thing. Save that for annual review.
Our logo is a little plant. So it's with like one leaf. It's like committed to the growth and success of our clients is our tagline. And so one year we hung a little Christmas ball on the tree, and so changed the logo and it looked like that little sad tree from Charlie Brown.
Yeah. So you could absolutely do something like that. Rob, any other ideas for like how to make your website a little more holiday?
You could, and again, this isn't my area of technology expertise, but what about skinning your site? So similar to what Chris did with her logo, have it so that your pages now have some sort of holiday geared look to them. So it just changes it shortly.
Yeah, you absolutely could do that. A lot of folks, firms they'll change their logo for Pride, which I'm not a huge fan of, because if you're not actually like talking the talk and walking the walk with regard to, that's another topic, but diversity and LGBT and all that stuff, you really shouldn't change your logo just to do that, in my opinion. But you could make the logo a little more holiday-esque. I might suggest doing like a snowflake or snowy kind of thing. So it's
like a winter, sort of more of a winter theme, or a New Year's theme. You could do something for the New Year or something for Thanksgiving. Again, let's go to those non-denominational holidays, and then you don't have the trap of Christmas at all.
Yeah.
So I think these are all great ideas. So think about, guys, getting your people involved, clever, creative ideas that showcase your brand, your culture, your people, the idea of pictures and kids. Kids do really well. Clients like to know that you're a good corporate citizen, that you're a good human. So these are all good ways to do that. Some of them require audience participation. I love the idea, even like your favorite holiday recipe, song, memory, photo. There's so many different things we went through today. So let's leave everyone with a best practice and or words of wisdom. I'd also like to bring up, make sure you include your alumni. There are ways to get them involved, and planning now is really smart. Do it. And I don't know that you want to get your card out the same week everyone else has their card. So that's why I would either go very early or kind of on the late side with sending it out, because you don't want to get lost in the flurry. But your clients care about you. And just like they do with your client alerts, they'll open the content from you. So don't worry too much. And if you have a cute dog, use that dog in your card.
Always use the pet.
Or cat.
Rob, any
or frog.
I'm going to reiterate, start early. It's a process. You've got to go through creative and budgeting and approvals and if you wait process. You think October is soon enough, but you could be already in November before you've even got an okay on anything.
I know. And then Thanksgiving creeps up on you, and then suddenly it's the first week of December, and you're like
working and I may steal Chris's, but start working on that list early too, because it's going to take time to get it cleaned up.
You guys should be working on the list.
And remember, everybody else, people come to us last minute, and I'm like, great. Yeah, we can turn this around in 2 weeks, but I've got 5 other cards I'm working on right now. So suddenly it makes it much harder if they wait too long. So the earlier you start, the better.
Yeah. Reach out to any of us for help anytime. We're always, we'll always take a call, send an email. We'll share information, ideas, and best practices just like we did today.
We love talking to you guys.
guys, add us to your holiday card list, because I'm definitely going to do a compilation of them on social, of the really good ones. And maybe the not so good ones. I would really recommend that you get your list in order. And if you don't have the opportunity or the bandwidth to do it, you need to outsource it. So outsourcing can be one of the smartest things that you do as a firm in so many different areas. But get your ducks in a row. This is an opportunity. We've had 2 years of somberness, and there's always, obviously, I know the world isn't perfect. We have obviously some, things going on around the globe that are difficult, but I do think this is an important time to have a touch point with your clients. And if you've never sent a holiday card before, do it. It works. It's a non-promotional communication, and it's a great way to stay top of mind with your clients. I know some people don't think e-cards are worth it. I think it's a great way to be efficient, inexpensive, and to reach a large audience. So if you do have the time to do those hard copy cards, I would say don't blanket the world with them. Do it for the VIP people. And if you have their home address, I would personally not send the firm card. I would send your family card to your client at their home with your kids, your families. I think that's a better touch than sending, the Kate's Law Firm card to someone's house. I think it's better to send them, make that personal relationship, get that connection. So,
well, again, then you also need to figure out, do you have those addresses in the CRM? Does the firm have a policy for that? Are you actively collecting them? So you have to start thinking about that as well.
Early. And it is October 1st tomorrow, guys. So it is time. So
it is more than time
to everyone. And we thank you guys for joining us today. This will be available on LinkedIn as a recording, so you can watch it. And we'll be back in I hope to have you guys back on this. You can always catch Rob on the Legal Marketing Coffee Talk. You can catch me on every single social channel that exists, essentially. And Chris is also available. Chris and I are doing a program on November 9th on how to create an alumni relations program. So if you have one alum, you are definitely you're going to want to do an alumni relations program. So I'll put the link to register for that. Rob, anything up? Rob, are you going to be in DC for LMA Mid-Atlantic?
I'm not going to LMA Mid-Atlantic, but I am going to be at LMA Northeast at the beginning of November. So,
all right.
And we're going to be doing some great fun live video stuff. So look for us there.
Yeah, actually, Rob and I are going to be doing those. So you can catch us at the at that conference. So we'll all be at that conference. So,
and I'll be at Mid-Atlantic, Northeast, Southeast, and just today signed up for Toronto. I'm very excited to go see our Canadian
LMA. Love to travel. Too. Chris, are you going to Southwest?
I'm not going to Southwest because the speaking conflict with.
Okay. Yeah. I'll be at Mid-Atlantic, speaking at Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. So, yeah. Guys, what's your favorite holiday dish? Rob?
Good question. I like, I'm Jewish, so my favorite holiday dish is definitely brisket.
Brisket. Yeah. You got to have if you have a good brisket recipe.
If it's a Jewish holiday, there is a brisket there.
There's a brisket. Yes. Chris, favorite holiday dish?
Yeah, easy. We have this thing, my family on my mother's side is Pennsylvania Dutch. And so they made this thing called filling. And imagine just making the best buttery stuffing in the world and crunch it up, get it really, really caramelized, and stir it into mashed potatoes. And it's a thing called filling. Amazing.
That sounds delicious. So I am Italian, as you can probably guess, because my name is Stephanie Maria Marone. We have pasta at every meal. I don't like turkey, so don't tell the big bird on Thanksgiving, but we do a bunch of, kind of mixed traditions in terms of like combining like an American holiday with the Italian version of it. So I've got this amazing chicken parm that I do on Christmas that is like green, and because I've got like a pesto that goes on top of the sauce. So it's red, white, and green, and it's delicious. So it's not traditional. Also, I'm really into strufoli, which is an Italian dessert that are like fried little dough balls that are covered in like sprinkles. And that is also something for the holidays that I love, that reminds me of my grandma. So yeah.
Now I want lunch.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
I
hungry
know,
now.
right?
Gotta go. Gotta go get some food.
Thanks, guys, for joining us, and happy holidays.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.